Hey guys, it's JFCMexotics here, and in today's video I'll be doing a May 2018 Reptile Room Collection Tour. It's been quite a while since my last video. I've got a lot of updates, there's been a lot of things happen, but I'll just get straight into the video and I'll explain them all as we go along. So we're going to start off with Rug, who's on the left side of the room. Last time we saw him, he would have had no substrate. He did have no substrate for about a year and a half. That was all stemming from a mite issue that I had ongoing, but now I haven't seen a mite on any of my animals for the past 5 months, so I thought it was safe to put them all back on substrate. This is Rug. It's extremely simple. It's just a series of vines that are screwed into the wall that create climbing spaces and a perch over there for him, for his white python ceramic and his white python LED. He has this 9-litre rub that he likes to chill in. This is the only bit that will stay, because to get a bowl big enough, like an actual reptile bowl for him to sit in, it would be far too much money, and this is just easy, does the job. So he likes to sit in there, he'll sit in there and he'll come and sit up here, and he just kind of changes between the two. He has got a hide on this one side, but he doesn't use it that often. And then obviously the floor is just a topsoil substrate, and he has 2 plants in there as well. Not much has changed with Rug, to be honest. He's eating every week, he's eating brilliantly, and here he is. Beautiful yellows on him. I really do enjoy his colours. Moving on, we have the Nelson's milk snake, the albino Nelson's milk snake. Her enclosure got redone a couple of days ago, and I'm really happy with it. It's based off like a cork eco earth substrate, and it really helps make her reds and her whites pop when she's, you see her moving around. Obviously there's so many hiding places in this cage that it would be very tricky to find her, and I don't think I can. Oh wait, yes I can. She's just in there. You can see a band in there. It's not going to be possible for me to get her out, but she's in shed anyway, so you wouldn't get to see her colours properly. I really do like this enclosure. It's got cork. These cork things are quite cheap where I am, and I really like the way they make the enclosure look, and it's very nice. It's got a white python ceramic with a 1-foot white python LED, and then just a zoom head water bowl. Yeah. Moving on below, we have the Hibino leopard gecko, who's called Citrus. This is probably where the biggest update is, and the reason for this update is because a couple of months ago I came in to feed her, and this part of the enclosure dropped down. The super glue had worn off, and this glass isn't a tight fit, and it basically caused the whole glass panel in to fall in. And I don't think it hit her when it fell in, but it landed next to it. It was very loud, and I think it scared her pretty badly, and it did lead to her dropping her tail. It has, I think, fully grown back now. Definitely in terms of size, I don't think it has coloured the way it will do. But as you can see, it's really disappointing, to be honest, because I know it's very traumatic for her. But we took her out, we got her healed up. I even took her to the vet once, but just to make sure it's checking. But this is it now. I've been feeding her calcium worms to help get her fattened back up again, because obviously that is where they keep all their nutrients, and if that drops, they have no backup supplies. So in this enclosure we have some natural slate rock. I got this out of my garden, and then in all the rest of it is just basic hides. I do want to completely redo this enclosure, completely change it up again. As you know, I do have a little series on my YouTube channel where I, have different naturalistic enclosures for leopard geckos. This is my 4th one, or my 3rd one. I think this is my 4th one, but I will be making a part 5 for it. I just need to think where I want to go. In the past, for an excavator clay, I've done a sand soil. You've probably seen them if you've been watching the channel for a while. Moving on to this stack, we have my albino hognose snake, Peaches. Her enclosure also hasn't been changed in a while, but this is another one that I want to do soon. It's basically just a sand soil substrate that allows her to dig around, and she has these two bridges that kind of act as like burrows for her to get under. As you can see, there she is, moving along the back. It is feeding day tomorrow, so she will hungry. Here we go. Definitely putting on some size now. She's approaching 3 years old. But once again, same. You'll tell that I have the same heating and lighting setup for every one of my enclosures. It just works so well, and it's so easy to set up. If you are looking to light an enclosure, definitely check out the white python LED strips. They're absolutely amazing. So easy to set up. Below this, we have Quincy, my Brazilian rainbow boa. This enclosure is another one that I redid recently. I went from a topsoil substrate to a bark substrate, and there are definitely pros and cons of both. The soil substrate maintained a higher humidity, but it dried out quickly, whereas this maintains a lower humidity, but it holds it for a lot longer. This kind of keeps it normally at around 70%. When I spray, it goes up to about 90, but it quickly drops down to about 70 after a day, whereas the topsoil would stay at 90 for about a couple of days, and then it would dry out, plummet down to 50. So yeah, that's why I chose to swap. And also, I just like the aesthetic change. In this enclosure, just basic plants, hides, ceramic, white python LED. This ceramic is actually controlled by this thermostat, and it actually works really well because I used to have the thermostat in this one, but every time I sprayed it, it cooled the Pro down and caused this ceramic to make it extremely hot in this enclosure. So I've swapped it, and it actually works really well now. There isn't a huge temperature change when I spray this enclosure. This one kind of maintains at about 85, 86 degrees, and that one maintains at about 95, so it works well. Moving across the enclosure, we have a Zoom Ed bowl, a fake branch for climbing, and over here a vine and more plants, and a hydrometer at the back. Quincy's another one who's in shed, and obviously just by looking at this enclosure you can just tell there's a lot of hiding places. If I could get him out I would, but I don't actually know where he is. So I'll have a look, and if I can find him I'll show him you. If not, I'll just move on. Okay, after taking apart his enclosure, I did find him burrowed under the water bowl, which is where I thought he would be. He used to do this in his old enclosure, but just to be 100% sure, I thought I'd go and find him. Here he is, as you can see, beautiful colours on him. These are really developing nicely. Now I've got to put everything back without bothering him too much. He's putting on quite a bit of size. This is him in relation to its enclosure. So probably about another year before he needs an upgrade. I do have some big plans for this room in terms of how this is all going to go when I have my new enclosures. If you didn't know, Rug and Quincy here will get to be quite big snakes. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to have two 4x4x2s along the bottom, and then these three enclosures will go on top of them, and I still need to find some of this to go. It isn't fully planned yet, but we'll put this cage back and then we'll move on. On to the next enclosure, we have my Crimsicle crested gecko. This is her enclosure. It's got a lot of cork and trailing plants. This is her feeding station. It doesn't have a pot in it right now, but it will do later. And this is, you'll never really see her during the day because she does like to hide in the cork. But this enclosure will be exactly the same as last time I showed you. Absolutely nothing has changed with her. She's been eating like a tank. She's always active at night, but obviously I can't film these at night because all the lights go off. So I'll have to try and put a picture up of what she looks like now, but I don't really have a recent one, so sorry for the lack of update on this cage. But we'll carry on. Coming across here, we have Woma, the Woma python. This cage has been redecorated. I've kind of gone in the theme of, you know, like barren outback desert type thing with the skull and the brittle branches and the sand. But she's been developing really well. Eats amazingly. Let's see if I can wake her up. So she's got a crazy good food response, so I didn't want to come on. come on. See if I can get her to wake up a bit. Here we go. So this is Sansa, my Woma python. Once again, another one that just likes to sleep during the day. She never uses her hides. She's always just chilling out in the open. But fair enough, that's better for me, I suppose. I get to see her a lot of the time. Now, Woma pythons aren't actually nocturnal, they are crepuscular, which means they are active during the evening and the morning. Which means that oftentimes when I come in here for school or when I get back, she's out looking for food. But yeah, she's been eating very well and growing nicely. Below the Woma python we have Lee, or Lelantos, who is my pastel ball python. His enclosure is very bare at the moment. I've only recently set this up, and as you can see by my drawers, which is where I keep all my decor, bowls and, you know, heat mats, the thermostats and stuff, all my spares, that is my foliage drawer. Absolutely nothing. So I've got more of that on the way. For now he's just got this big cork branch. He will get more branches as well, but you know, it'll take a couple of weeks. In the next update that I'll do, probably July, hopefully this cage will be fully done. But Lee has been doing absolutely amazing. He's been feeding, strike feeding very well weekly. He's always out active. Genuinely, I couldn't wish for him to be doing better. There's not one thing that I think, oh, he's been doing, could be doing a bit better at. Handling, he's tame, he's calm, but he's got an amazing food response. Something that you don't always get with, especially male ball pythons. But yeah, he's been doing well. This is his 4x4x2 enclosure, heated with a white python and a 2-foot LED. Once again, the bark substrate that you saw in the rainbow bows enclosure. But this one doesn't get sprayed anywhere near as much. I'll spray the rainbow boa daily. This probably gets sprayed weekly, if that. So I'll put this back in, and then we'll drop down to the last enclosure, and the enclosure that I surprisingly like. These water bowl's a bit dry, so I'll fill that up as soon as we've finished. But look, he thinks it's food time already. Mr. Carr, the corn snake. This is once again a 4x4x2 enclosure. He's on aspen. I really like the way aspen looks with the wood that I've got in here. This plant is what I got from IKEA for like £3. So IKEA is a great place for any fake plants, to be honest. It's way cheaper than online reptile stores. Like this I got, this is a Komodo plant, and I think I paid £8 for that. If you look at the size of that compared to the size of that, which I paid more than half less for. But Carr is another snake that just doesn't use his hides. So I might actually take that out and give it to Lee, because Lee is lacking another hide and Lee uses them. But in here, this is the only one of my 4-foot enclosures that doesn't use a white python. That's just because I had the cage and the bulb and the thing everything lying around, so I thought, why buy a white python when I could just put that to use. But he does have the white python LEDs to light this. He's got a big branch to climb on, aspen, you know, stuff like this to dig in. But yeah, Carr's, you know, kind of like the staple of this channel. He's the mascot. He'll never be going anywhere. I mean, look at that face. How could you get rid of that face? Absolutely amazing snake. Nothing wrong with him. Anyone that's watched my channel for any amount of time will know that he's been here from day one. He's my first snake over 5 years ago. When did I get him? I got him November 2013, so no, coming up on 5 years ago. Yeah, coming up on 5 years ago, I got Carr. I did have snakes in, well, no, I had lizards before that, back in like 2010. But I say they were mine. They were kind of my brother's. But he quickly got rid of those. Well, I say quickly, he had them for years, but he got those months after I started, you know, interacting with them. And then I thought, you know what, I might give this a go myself. So I got this guy, and you know what, this is exactly what I wanted for him the day I got him. When I first got him, I only ever imagined getting 1 or 2. I always wanted a ball python from watching, what's his name? Brian Barczyk's videos. The cool ball pythons I used to see on there really inspired me to get one. And I always imagined having 2 6-foot enclosures for them, which, you know what, I still kind of want, but there isn't really the space in this room. Just to give him absolutely acres of space to go in. A 4-foot's absolutely fine. A 4x2x2 provides plenty of space. But yeah, that is kind of it for this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. My A-levels are almost finished. I've got like 2 more weeks. I've got like 3 exams left, and then I'll be done. I'll have 13 weeks of nothing to do. So if I can't get a video out weekly, I'll be so annoyed with myself, because I literally have nothing else to do. So I will be doing this. The reptiles are all I do anyway. I come in here, spend a couple of hours in here every day, cleaning, feeding, you know, stuff like that, rescaping. So I'm not going to disappear for months again this time. I really am going to come and try and make the videos. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. It's been JFCMexotics.